talking about, right?
Answer this ambition question, how to grow your game in the rest of the world with a profit. And we'll give some examples how actually Wooga managed to do that in the last year. But to start with, who is Wooga? Wooga is a mobile game developer. We're based in Berlin. We are extremely diverse team with 40 plus nationalities, 250 people in the office, and actually almost 40% of all our employees moved to Germany, moved to Berlin specifically to join our company. A brief history how we actually started. We started in 2009 as a social games developer, Canvas, Facebook. We spent 2 years on working on Canvas games. And in 2011, we realized the all-important mobile growth, and we decided to switch to mobile game development. That was a great time when we came up with all our well-known games, Jelly Splash, Diamond Dash, Hidden Object Game, Pearl's Peril. And after that, we decided to explore other opportunities. So in 2013, we started to do lots of experiments. We tested mid-core. We tested Japan, because that was a dream to get to Asian markets. We even had an office there in Tokyo. We tested games for Apple Watch, basically tried everything. And after a year and a half of how we call it discovery moment, we realized actually the strategy should be to be focused, because we know how to get we know how to make casual games. We should focus on our portfolio of casual games, and that's what we do now. In terms of our markets, that shouldn't come up as a big surprise. Up to 55% that's actually a US market, because we know that it monetizes well, there are lots of players, people actually like casual gaming. European countries, of course, it's UK, Germany, France, Japan, as I mentioned before, because we try to get to this market, Australia. But that was, Europe and the US was our focus historically, but in the last year we tried to grow worldwide. Some of our casual games, you can probably recognize a couple of icons, Jelly Splash, Bubble Island, Diamond Dash, Pearl's Peril. But what's important, we also have internally 2 game studios. We have puzzle games, our Match 3, Jelly Splash, Diamond Dash, and we also have a hidden object adventure studio focusing on hidden object. Who is our audience? Up to 70%, it's women. But that's probably not a surprise for all casual game developers here. What's very interesting, it's actually age split, because as you can see, the big chunk of our players are between 45 to 64 and even 65 plus. As I said, historically, US and Europe, which is together up to 60% of all our players right now. What was interesting, when I started to work on this presentation, I also had a look on likes on Facebook audience insight, and apparently our target audience, women 45 plus, has a certain type of interest as well. So I might consider maybe we should do some influencer marketing and partner with a Vin Diesel or somebody like that. Our UA approach, Facebook, Google. Facebook is it's not a coincidence that it's such a big logo, because we do marketing on Facebook a lot. Other ad networks, which might be familiar for you. US, Europe, which actually created some obstacle for us to grow our games in other countries, because, for example, here, Jelly Splash, it was created in 2013 on mobile, but actually we progressed from Canvas to mobile. So it was already on the market for many, many years, and people like to play it, and they engaged. We have lots of followers in our Facebook accounts, but to grow further was very, very difficult. Same story actually with the Diamond Dash as well. 2013 also progressed from canvas to mobile. A huge number of followers on Facebook. Very successful game, great monetization. However, after a certain amount of time, and actually after 3-4 years, it's very difficult to grow it further. In fact, that's how it looks like. 2013, you're starting on one platform, you slowly opening another platform, Android, iOS, Canvas. You're growing after 2-3 years, but after you're just stop and your growth is stagnating. So you can't scale your performance. You can't scale number of your players and players at the same time. So we face the question, what's now? What we actually can do? How we can grow it further? Because otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to continue like that. So today I will show what we actually were working on in the last year. So yes, everyone is using Facebook. We know you can target or by interest, so I can target people who are like and play Panda Pop, for example. Yes, there is some custom audiences. What you can do with this, you can actually target your own players from Jelly Splash and Diamond Dash, in our case, for some promo, for some special offers. I mean, for remarketing it, I don't really personally, I don't really believe in it anymore, because if somebody left your game, they left it for the reason. So to pay twice for the same user, it most likely he will leave, she will leave after a certain amount of time again. But what custom audience is great for, it's obviously lookalikes, because actually you can create on custom audiences a list of people who are similar to behavior of your current players and ask Facebook to find you those people on Facebook. But in the last years, there is obviously a very big hype around app events. App events making smart optimization. You can target people who are most likely to complete tutorial. You can target people who are most likely to achieve a certain level in your game. For example, you should work closely with a BI, with a data scientist to identify for example, on which level, maybe at level 25, people starting to monetize better after that. You can do it by working closely with your analysts. Or purchase, which is obviously one of the most important app events we game developers can dream of. So you can actually target people who are most likely to make a purchase in your specific game. Because Facebook knows if those players purchase something in other apps, in other games. So that's very precise. Rest of the world. Yes, there is lots of arguments that, you can open rest of the world. And actually what we did is just an example of one of our game. From 5, we used to have, let's say, 500 new daily users. You can imagine that 50% of them will never come back to your game. So you will end up with a maximum 200 daily users after the day 1. And then, obviously, they will slowly, number of users will reduce. So what we did, we opened rest of the world, and you can see the trend that we immediately started to generate up to 4,000 people daily. Slowly, of course, it's getting down, but still it's around 3,000 people from rest of the world. But here is an important question, how actually to make monetization. So that's what's happening when you're using app events. You're opening rest of the world country, you're optimizing it for payers, so you're targeting specific people who are in Singapore, who are in Japan, who are in India, who are in China, it doesn't really matter, but you're targeting payers. So then, we can answer this question also successfully. We're not just growing daily users, but we're also growing our revenues as well. Regarding creative optimization, which is also very important, what is better, banners or videos? I've been asked these questions quite a lot of times. It depends. US, Europe, we obviously know that great internet connection, Wi-Fi, so it's actually you can run video campaigns a lot. And actually it has higher CTR, it has higher install rate. You can show really lots of levels in your game in the video, which is actually affecting your retention rate. because people saw what kind of levels they can see in the game after they saw this video, and they're most likely to stay in your game and to discover those levels which they saw in the ad. I will try to play the video. Yes. Yes, that's one of our examples of lately produced videos for one of our new coming game, Tropicat. So yes, as I said, in US, in Europe, I would highly recommend to invest more and more in your videos, because people can really discover content, they can really be engaged, and will stay, most likely to stay longer in your game. Rest of the world, so we were running those campaigns in the rest of the world, and we discovered that actually the response to the videos wasn't as great as in US and Europe. And with banners, slower, we can guess, obviously we don't know exactly the answer, but we can guess that probably slower internet connection is making the big difference. So higher install rate is actually with the banners. However, with the banners there is a lower install rate in the end, and retention rate is not as high as it was in the video. Just for, again, coming back to the question, probably in a banner it's really hard to show what you can expect from the game when you install it. So actually we're doing a test for the game Tropicat. Completely different 3 banners. Gameplay focus, character focus, some islands, build islands to save the cats. And we were testing what actually will work better. And we found out CTR for this banner is actually less than across any other banners, because you really can't understand from these banners what is this game about. Is it match 3? Is it hidden object? Is it simulation? Is it mid-core? You really can't understand. Yeah, there is some cute cats on an island. So we said, okay, let's try another 2 banners against each other, what will work the best. Focus on a gameplay and some characters. Actually here, that was the result, 0.5% banner with a cute kitty. So then we decided, okay, we will keep this banner because apparently that's the best one. And actually, indeed, based on countries, based on different age groups, that's the one was the most successful one, because apparently you should show everyone what is this game about. You should demonstrate that it's a match 3, then people really understand what they are downloading, what they're installing. And another point on ad copies. There are lots of arguments between digital marketers on who is running Facebook campaigns, if actually ad copy matters, because mostly people paying attention to icon, they obviously watching video, banners, they might see some comments, who is commenting, reposting that, but how actually important ad copy. So what we do, we usually use quite persuasive, quite sometimes aggressive ad copies, like this one, which is asking you to download now, to install now, to play now. And we decided to test something new. We realized that actually lots of our players, they like to play our games because they want to be relaxed. They work hard during the day. They really want to sit down on a sofa and just chill out and have a great time. So we decided, okay, maybe install now, play now doesn't really work that much. Shall we maybe approach them in a different way? Maybe we should create something more calm in terms of ad copies. And we did this. So we exclude the previous ad copy. We said, okay, let's do this few hard day. How about a puzzle to wind up with? And that was a very interesting result, because actually just using this text, just using this copy, we increased our CTR for 48%, which was very interesting, because there are lots of arguments that it's actually at copy and text doesn't really matter, but apparently it does, and you really should know why your player's playing a game to approach them in a different way. So actually that was all the tests we've been working on in the last year. As I said, to sum it up, we managed to grow our game worldwide. We managed to optimize it to payers and grow also revenues, but not just daily active users. We understand the game, how to approach different countries with the videos or with the banners. And we also understand which kind of characters or gameplay we should use in our creatives. And add copies now. So to sum it up, don't be afraid to go worldwide, just to know how to do that, know how approach different players in different countries. Thank you.
Спасибо большое. Давайте похлопаем.